Hey y'all, welcome to Peyton Energetics. I'm Peyton, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about the Starseed program. So another way to look at this is, why are there so many starseeds on the planet right now? What is the point of this entire starseed phenomenon? So if you are a member of the spiritual community, you may have noticed that over the past couple of years, this concept of star seeds has absolutely exploded. 5 or 10 years ago, we didn't hear the word starseed even mentioned. And over the past couple of years, it has exploded in popularity. And we are noticing more and more starseeds discovering that they are, in fact, starseeds and figuring out what they are here on the planet to do. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at, why are there starseeds on Earth? What is the point of the starseed phenomenon, and why is it exploding in popularity the way it is? So let's start out at the beginning with talking about what a starseed is, because this is a fairly new concept in the spiritual community, really kind of getting its step, its groove 3 or 5 years ago is when I first started to notice it. And since then, it has just grown like wildfire. So what are we talking about when we talk about starseeds? Is a starseed the same thing as a light worker? There's just a lot of jumbling in the spiritual community of definitions around the whole starseed concept. So when we talk about starseeds, what we are generally talking about is someone who is incarnated on Earth right now, but whose soul originates from another star system. So essentially, a starseed is someone whose soul doesn't originate within the Earth construct. So starseeds tend to come from one of 6 or 7 star systems that is very closely aligned with Earth. So according to the guides, the starseeds that you are most likely to encounter are from the Pleiades, from Sirius, from Arcturus, Andromeda, Lyra Vega, and Orion. Now, sometimes Cassiopeia will be thrown in there, but there's a handful of star systems that are really participants in the Starseed program. They send a lot of starseeds to planet Earth. So generally, when you are encountering a starseed, it will be someone who is from one of those star systems. So why do we talk about starseeds? Why has this become a phenomenon? Well, when we talk about starseeds, we are just using that term to distinguish from people who are here on Earth who have always incarnated into the Earth game. So that would mean people who all of their incarnations as a soul have come to planet Earth. So these are souls that have not been traveling throughout the galactic community. They have always incarnated into the Earth game. So basically, sometimes these people who have always incarnated into the Earth game are known as Earth souls. So that is one of the things that we are talking about when we mention a starseed, is we're just talking about the origin of someone's soul. Now, that doesn't make a starseed in any way superior to an Earth soul or anyone else for that matter. What we are just talking about is starseeds come to Earth with a particular purpose. So there is a reason why starseeds have been coming to Earth in greater and greater numbers. So that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. And sometimes we call this the Starseed program. So starseeds became a thing because this is something that our galactic family came up with to help Earth through the ascension process. So starseeds started coming to Earth, according to the guides, in the late 1940s. And the reason that the first starseeds came to Earth was to start to help steer Earth in a more positive direction. So Earth, of course, at the time was very deep in the density of the third dimension, or third density, and had in the 40s, of course, just discovered and started to use nuclear weapons. So what happened is, basically, this got the attention of our galactic family. They realized the kids were playing with dangerous toys. So our galactic family started to really pay attention to Earth once we reached the point in our development that we were starting to use nuclear weapons, because what this meant was we had the capability of destroying ourselves. And as the guides like to explain, not only destroying ourselves, but with nuclear weapons, there is the potential to destroy other dimensions, to seriously affect other civilizations and other dimensional realities. So the galactic community starts to pay attention when an evolving civilization like Earth gets to the point of being able to harm itself or harm other existences, other dimensions, other realms. So this happened for Earth, of course, in the 1940s. So our galactic family, according to the guides, had to try to figure out how to help steer Earth in a more positive direction, to start helping us out of the density of 3D, start to bring some higher consciousness to a very dense planet, without violating what is known in the galactic community as the law of non-interference. So in the galactic community, among benevolent races, there is something that's called a law or a protocol. The guides say it is actually a guideline, but it's one that the galactic family takes very, very seriously. And this law of non-interference limits how more advanced civilizations can interact with evolving civilizations. So Earth, of course, is considered to be an evolving civilization. We, as newly emerging from the third dimension, third density, are at the bottom of the dimensional scale as far as our galactic family goes. So as such, we are considered to be an evolving civilization. So the law of non-interference prevents more advanced galactic races from sharing certain types of knowledge, information, and technology with newer civilizations. And the idea behind the non-interference protocol is to keep more advanced civilizations from meddling or interfering with the natural evolution of evolving civilizations. So the goal is always to allow newly developing civilizations to grow and develop on their own without being tinkered with or interfered with by more advanced races. Now, the guides tell us that that rarely happens, that there is truly a civilization that doesn't have any contact with more advanced races. But the general principle is that advanced civilizations are limited in what kind of assistance they can provide, how much information they can share with newer civilizations, and how much they can interfere, interact, or even communicate with a newly evolving civilization. So once the 1940s occurred and the human race started playing with nuclear weapons, our galactic family got very concerned. They were trying to figure out how they could steer us in a more positive direction without violating the law of non-interference. So one of the things our galactic community came up with, according to the guides, is what is known as the Starseed program. So they came up with an idea that they would put out a call for volunteers to ask for beings from highly advanced, highly evolved civilizations in the galaxy to send representatives to incarnate on Earth and to bring their high vibrational energy to implant that into the planetary grid, to share that with the human collective. Because what that would do then would bring some of the off-world energy, so more advanced knowledge, more advanced frequency than was currently existing on the planet, and bring that into the human collective. And the galactic family figured out that they could do this, send starseeds, is what we call these people, to incarnate on planet Earth to raise the frequency of the planet. So a call went out throughout the galaxy, according to the story, and many beings from many different civilizations volunteered to come incarnate on Earth and bring their high vibrational star energy. So one of the things that separates a starseed from your average human is that starseeds coming from off-world civilizations that tend to be much more advanced than planet Earth bring their vibration, their frequency to planet Earth and implant that into the grid. Basically, they share that with the human collective. So by doing this, the galactic community had found a way to help Earth to help send it in a more positive direction, help raise its frequency, help connect it with higher dimensional wisdom and information, without violating the law of non-interference. So this program started, according to the guides, in the late 40s with just a trickle of starseeds. So in the 40s, 50s, there were only small numbers of starseeds who were incarnating on Earth with this purpose, to bring high vibrational energy and share it with the human collective. But over the years, as we have moved closer to our transition into fifth dimension, which of course we are on the threshold of right now, the number of starseeds has been growing steadily ever since. So we started to, according to the Pleiadians, see a real uptick in the number of starseeds in the 70s and the 80s. And it has exploded since then. So we are now seeing tons and tons of starseeds coming to Earth to help Earth through this transition into the fifth dimension. Because again, many starseeds are coming from star civilizations that have already gone through this transformation. So by being a starseed, by volunteering and agreeing to incarnate on Earth, starseeds are here to support Earth through the ascension process. So we are seeing more and more starseeds. The number is absolutely skyrocketing as we close in on our final crossing of the dimensional threshold. So basically, starseeds are here to help support Earth through the ascension process. And they did this to be supportive parts of the galactic family. So starseeds are here to help the native Earth humans move through the ascension process and finally break free from the three-dimensional matrix, which is what has kept Earth in a very low and suppressed frequency for thousands of years. So the Starseed program is how our galactic family conceived a way to help Earth without interfering, without violating the non-interference protocol. So volunteers came in the form of starseeds to bring higher frequency and implant it into the planet, because the non-intervention law doesn't prohibit beings on this planet from bringing in higher dimensional energy. It prohibits other races from imposing that energy. But if you're born onto the planet as an actual citizen of that planet, you just do so as a starseed with the frequency of a starseed. Our galactic family found a way to help Earth without violating the non-intervention law. So that is where the Starseed program came from, what its origin was. It was a way to help Earth without getting our galactic family in trouble for meddling in our development. So how do you know if you are here as a starseed, as part of this Starseed program? Well, I have tons of videos on this channel to help you figure that out, but there are certain general characteristics that many starseeds share that can help you figure out if you are part of this Starseed program. The first thing is many starseeds are extremely sensitive. So a lot of times there is a trend in the starseed community that starseeds tend to be highly intuitive, highly sensitive, and very empathic. So if you are a starseed, you may find that you are very sensitive to the feelings and emotions of other people. You may find that you're very naturally psychically active, that you have access to skills and abilities that the average person hasn't quite remembered how to use. And you may also find that you are extremely sensitive to energy. This is something that many starseeds share, and it can be one of those signs that indicate that you yourself are a starseed. Something else that is super common amongst starseeds is they tend to be the black sheep of their family. So if you are someone who has always felt a bit like an outsider, maybe you don't feel like you always really understand the people around you, you don't really get humans, they're a little confusing in the choices that they make. Starseeds are known to very often feel like outsiders to some degree, whether that is feeling like the black sheep of their family, like that is feeling a bit of an outsider, a bit different from their friends, their colleagues, their community groups. This is all very common in starseeds. And again, that is because starseeds have a very different energy than the average human. They have a much higher frequency. And again, they are bringing that off-world energy, which can feel a little different than the average human. So that can contribute to starseeds feeling a little bit like outsiders in their life. So if that is something that you resonate with, that can be another sign that you may be a starseed. And finally, one other thing that many starseeds struggle with that can be seen as one of these signs that you may be a starseed is that starseeds often struggle with being in a physical body. And one of the reasons for this is that most starseeds come from very evolved, very advanced star civilizations that often have evolved out of the need to even have a physical body. So because starseeds are coming from civilizations with extremely high frequencies, extremely high vibrations, bringing that energy into a physical human body can be very challenging. So it's very common in the starseed community to struggle with the physical body, whether that is having mysterious ailments, just not feeling good in your body, or not liking having a body at all. These are all things that are super common in starseeds, and one of those things that you can look to as an indicator that you may be a starseed. And another indicator is you are listening to this video. Energetically, you probably would not be drawn to watch this video or anything like this unless you were a starseed. So again, the energy is going to be what you are responding to. And if you are drawn to the idea of a starseed, even if you don't know for sure, you probably are one, because the whole concept would not even enter your consciousness unless it was something that your higher self was bringing to your attention. So again, as always, check in with your intuition to know for sure. That is always the best way to get answers. But this is just a little history of what we are all about and why we are here on the planet in such increasing numbers. So I hope this helps you understand starseeds a little better. Drop a comment in the box and let me know if you are a starseed. And while you're down there, don't forget, hit that subscribe button and the like button if you haven't done that yet. I'll see you soon. Bye.